Good morning, guys. Coming to you live today, well, not live, recorded, but you get the point, from the Denison Pequot-Seapost Nature Center property known as the Coogan Farm. Okay, one of their parcels. So if you've ever been down Pequot-Seapost Road in Mystic, it's the Nature Center, and they have surrounding lands that actually connect up with some Avalonia properties and cross some streets and really create a pretty large swath of land in Mystic that's set aside for preservation purposes. This is a newer addition to the Nature Center's property portfolio, and it's the Coogan Farm. So the Coogan Farm is one of the oldest remaining undeveloped parcels of land in Stonington that at one point was cultivated. This was farmland back in the day, like 1600s. I'm going to show you an example of that here in a moment. It's also still a functioning farm. The Coogan Farm is. It's all for charitable purposes. All the food is donated to local food pantries for people who are food insecure. It's pretty awesome. It's a great place. It's sandwiched actually between my neighborhood in Mystic and McQuaid's. All right, and there's a lot of development happening in this area, so that development likely would have happened on this property as well had the Nature Center not taken part in a massive fundraising campaign. They raised several $1 million to purchase this property in order to protect it from being developed. We all here in town, in our area, are the beneficiaries of that effort by the Nature Center. So you can see a lot of the land is still kind of maintained as it was. We talked about this in class out in the woods, these kind of posts, these stone posts with the hinges. These are found throughout the property, both in cleared areas like this and in wooded areas. So come down. Something that's cool about Coogan and the Nature Center as a whole is the stonework and these signs. They do a nice job with creating a timeline, showing us all the way up through when the Nature Center purchased the property in 2014 from its origin in 1647 when the Gallup family owned this land. So pretty cool. We could do something like that as we develop a history around the cellar hole foundations in the woods behind Stonington High School. But that's something that you could do in a variety of ways, either as a direct project where you actually create the signage as like a prototype, or through literally creating the signs, like, and putting them up out there. So I don't know, something to think about. So come down, I'll show you guys the Coogan Farm, and then I'm going to take you up into the Gallup Orchard and show you that. It's one of the oldest orchards in Connecticut that's been gone through a bit of a conservation and restoration project about a year ago, which I'm going to post an article with this video to accompany that, to explain all that, but to basically bring that orchard back. I'll talk about that in a bit. But here's the Coogan Farm. Again, this is all for charity. It's all volunteers. Farmer Craig Floyd runs this operation here. I've learned a lot from him personally, coming over here and learning farming techniques and general gardening skills. Pretty awesome place. So if you ever were looking for some hours for your community service, or you just want to kind of get your hands in some soil and learn some stuff about growing your own food, this is a great place to do it. They have multiple hoop houses. They have a lot going on here. It's really cool. It's incredible how much food they produce when the the food pantries show up to pick up the food. I believe on Tuesdays when they're in harvest. It's insane how much food is brought out. So we'll work our way through. You can see a lot of stuff still growing. You know, it's fall harvest is happening. You know, they do a lot there. It's 12 months a year. You can come and do a lot of work. Like, there's always something to do here. And over the years, I've spent a lot of hours in there just learning stuff. It'd be great if we could get Farmer Craig into class. He did do a TED Talk a few, maybe 2018, that I may show you guys. Pretty cool. So that's something else to come back around to. But coming up through here, I want to take you, you can see the stonework still kind of framing this out, like I'm walking essentially through a pinned in area, a walled in area. Again, you can see the threshold here where the gates would have hung, and there's a name for this, and it's just escaping me still. But pretty interesting to see these things kind of in their original state. We have a paddock over here. Show you this. Pretty cool for livestock. And it also serves as a retaining wall, kind of holding the hill back a bit. So again, this is all, like, this likely would have been cleared out, developed. There would have been some, who knows, elderly living facility, elder care facility, or hotel, or maybe some homes. Here, the Gallup Orchard, 1647, absolutely insane. You know, one of the earliest colonial farms in Connecticut, right here. So this orchard was restored, or is in the process of being restored, last year in 2019. The Nature Center, the DPNC, hired a group to come in and basically start to clear things out and leave the orchard, leave these, you know, these trees that date back, they can be traced back hundreds of years. So basically wherever you see tags, many of them still have them, not all of them, but these trees, these orchard trees, like, the hope is to bring it back, because it had sort of been left in disrepair and kind of gotten out of hand. Things were overgrown, and it was kind of choking out the orchard. And you know, the fact that we have this orchard and this farm that dates back to the settling of Stonington is pretty remarkable. So again, coming through, this is sort of, believe it or not, this area was totally overgrown. Walking on this path a year ago, I believe I actually have a video and pictures of it. It was just like a tunnel. Everything was overgrown. You can see these standalone trees. That's what's left of the orchard. So I'm going to take you through and take you up now through. So real quick on this, the orchard. You know, this is preservation. They're preserving this, the orchard, the Gallup Orchard, and the farm. It's also conservation, kind of using the resources around here, clearing things out. You can see here, that's McQuaid's right there. So you can see how close this is. This touches to very developed areas. Cut up here. I'm going to show you two more things that kind of lay it all out, what this is all about, what our class is all about, why this is important. Kind of that blending of progress and development with conservation and preservation, kind of maintaining. So this area here that I'm walking through right now, this was all overgrown and has been cleared for these trees, for this orchard to once again thrive, which is pretty cool. Used to come through here and it was like, again, it was like a tunnel, man. It was pretty much all game trail. And this was before the Nature Center purchased the property and began maintaining some trails and doing some work back here. Prior to that, I can remember coming back here before the Nature Center purchased it, and it was different. It was sort of a I don't know. It kind of felt like you were trespassing on somebody's property that was completely unmaintained. I don't know how else to explain it. But now, you know, it's fully open and trails are cut, and it's pretty cool. You know, back in the day when we first moved into our house over here in Mystic, 2012, you know, like, bring my kids over here, we'd play like hide and go seek, manhunt, stuff like that. And that was before the trail system was really developed. So now it's a pretty spectacular place that you can come and enjoy. A lot of wildlife back here, a lot of deer, tons of different birds, owls, coyotes at times, fox. There's a lot going on. But real quick, I want to take you guys up, show you something that's pretty cool, and that is the Stillman Mansion. Check this out. I'll show you the signage first. It's going back to the Gilded Age, you know, the late 1800s. Pretty sweet. Again, see our timeline. You know, we're now in the 1880s, 90s, and talking about the creation of this foundation in this home. This was going to be a mansion. I mean, no joke. It's called the Stillman Mansion. It's a foundation for a home that was never completed. It's in the middle of the woods. It's pretty overgrown. There's like trees and bushes and all kinds of stuff growing inside. At one point, there was an effort to clear this out, and then I believe they sort of pushed that off to keep people from going in, because a lot of people were going in. I mean, I myself did as well. And, you know, it's pretty cool. This is quite the foundation. I mean, this thing makes our little foundation at Stonington High School, our cellar holes, quaint and cute and tiny. I mean, this thing is massive. And what's crazy about this is, I want to show you, if we come over here, is look how close this is now. I mean, 5 years ago, there was nothing here. It's just the woods continuing down. You can see it's the water tower over on Jerry Brown Road, and you can see here Sonicare elderly care facility. It's right here. So this was sort of the price that was paid by the Nature Center. The Nature Center possessed the property that you see over here, and they basically sold it. They traded one for the other. By doing that, they were able to maintain and keep all of this over here and everything that we just walked through. And this also links up to the Denison Homestead, which then you cross Denison Pequot Seapost, or you cross Pequot Seapost Road, and you come to the Nature Center property once again. I would take you through this trail, but a tree came down a couple weeks ago. It's blocked, so I'm gonna roll over here and say a couple more words, wrap this thing up. But there's another trail over this way. But this Coogan Farm property connects over to the Denison Homestead, which is a pretty well-maintained piece of farmland, colonial era farm, pre-American, you know, the colonial era farmland, the Denison Homestead, which is an amazing property, which I'll probably do something with that at some point. And then that, you cross over Pequot Seapost, and you're in the Nature Center property. What's cool is Avalonia also possesses property that is conjacent, you know, next door to adjacent to the Nature Center property. So it creates this really large area, system of trails, and there's several miles back here. And this is right here in Mystic, sandwiched in between neighborhoods and the aquarium and the Mystic Village and the Mystic Seaport. Downtown Mystic is this incredible space that is maintained as or preserved for wildlife and for our enjoyment. And it's incredible. Just up here, I'm kind of doubling back right quick to the nature center. Towards the foundation. We could have came down this trail. I want to get you to one point, and then I'm going to call this video a wrap. But some cool stuff back here. I would have loved to have brought you guys out here, and you could totally get out here. You come out here, come do a hike, take some photos, shoot a video. You know, I'll give you a pass on some field work for sure. See some, I don't know what that is, maybe from a deer, not sure. Cool little, not really sure here, maybe quarrying some stone at some point. But yeah, for real, if you guys get out here, make some videos, bring it to class, that'll be a field work for sure. That's a pass. We are going to be doing stuff like that. This would be a great place. Many of you could probably get here either by foot, bike, or a short car ride. I want to take you right down to this one last spot, and this is where we're going to wrap the video. And that's the stone wall, which kind of frames out the edge of the Coogan Farm property. It's down. You can see in the background over there the Masonic Care facility. And then you come up and over, and this is where you begin to enter the Denison property. You go down this hill, and that takes you down to the Denison homestead, and you cross Pequot Seapost into the nature center, and there's Avalonia property. And this sits between Coogan Boulevard, Jerry Brown Road, Route 27, and Mistuxet, if you want to think of like geographically using those roads as your landmark. And this takes up, I would say, the majority of the space between those four roadways. And it's great that it's here because it's preserved. It's here forever for us and for wildlife. It's something we need. There's a lot of development happening, which, obviously we need that as well. But it's pushing wildlife out of their habitat. There's not really, they're running out of places to be. They end up out in the roadways, they end up in our yards. Creates, there's unintended consequences there. So it's good to have this, and this is a great place. So get out here, Coogan Farm, Mystic, Connecticut. Make a video, just come for a walk, enjoy it. It's here for all of us. It's awesome. All right, guys, have a good day.